We have already discussed, and even to clarify. Okay, so first point is classification system. Okay, so organisms are divided into groups by the features they share. Exactly. So all the member of a same group, they must have the same features. Clear? So for example, the plant. Okay, so plant group, all the members of the plantee. Okay, they have the similar features. They can have flower, they can have fruits, they can have leaves, etc. Exactly. So
Yes.
the organisms are divided into groups, and the member of that group should have the same features. Okay. So another example, we have already done this. So uh, these are the category. Okay, from the species to the kingdom. Okay, the smallest smaller category. We already know that if this is the whole kingdom, if this box is a whole kingdom, then there is certain level, okay, by which they are made up of. So for example, if I can divide these, okay, into four parts. Okay, so one part could be the species, the smallest part, right? And larger part is the kingdom. If we say the more general term, then it will be a kingdom, and more specific term, then it will be a species. Okay, but there are many in between terms. Okay, so the species, uh, if we collect all the species, then they made the genera. Okay, and all the genera collected to form the families, and then order, then we have classes, then phyla, and then the larger part is the kingdom. Okay, so in your IGCSE board, okay, the important part is these three only: first, second, and even you can say about the class. Okay, rest of the things you should just remember the name, but don't worry about the detail. Okay, and I'll give you the example. From there you can even you'll be more clear. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so kingdom is on top. Okay, it is more like this. Okay, it is a more general term, and there is it's more specific term. So like this, the bigger part, and then it comes to the smaller into the small part. Okay, so we have kingdom, phylum, class, then order, then family, genus, and species. You should remember the order. Okay, the main thing is order. Okay, so first come here the kingdom, and then the phylum, like this. So for that, there is a mnemonics here. Okay, so King Philip came over for granny's soap. Okay, so you can remember by this mnemonics. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so this mnemonics can help you to remember the all names. You should know about the kingdom, you should know about the species and genus. We have already discussed these, right? Okay, and that's it. No, don't worry about all these things. If it's there in your syllabus, then there will be more detailed study on that. Okay,
Okay.
so can you read another line for me? Is it
All right.
visible properly?
Yeah, it's visible, clear.
Yeah.
Each species contains organisms with many similar features. They can reproduce to make fertile offspring. The
Okay.
binomial, yeah,
So each species contain organism. Okay, so each species, we know that each species contain the organism, and with the similar features, they can reproduce to make fertile offspring. So species, the member of species can reproduce, and they reproduces the fertile offsprings, right? So
yes.
yeah, can you go for the next?
The binomial naming system is used to scientifically name organisms. The format is genus species. Genus is capitalized and species is not.
So as discussed in the last lecture, so this is the binomial naming system, right? And scientifically, we use the two name uh, system. Basically, first name indicate it tell us about the genus, which genus they do belongs, and another part they belongs to the they tell us about the species. Okay, so if we know the scientific name of any organism, we can tell we can talk about the genus and species of particular that organism. Okay, and also the genus, the first letter of the genus should be in capital, and this is the binomial naming system, right? And scientifically we use the two name uh, system. Basically first name indicate it tell us about the genus, which genus they do belongs, and another part they belongs to the they tell us about the species. Okay, so if we know the scientific name of any organism, we can tell we can talk about the genus and species of particular that organism. Okay, and also the genus, the first letter of the genus should be in capital, and rest of the things normal as we use in English uh, grammar. Okay, next.
The classification of organisms helps show evolutionary relationships between them.
Okay, so they show the evolutionary relationship between these species. Okay, next. We have already discussed these, so just to go through. Okay, uh,
And then
more
scientists also,
specific, we'll start from here.
yeah, scientists also use DNA-based sequence to help classify organisms.
Next.
The similarity in DNA chains show how closely related two organisms are.
Okay, scientists also use the DNA based sequence. Okay, we have already know that how scientists use the DNA based sequence, and we already discussed about the codons and code on the DNA, right? So basically some A, C, T, G, these were the codes, and the full form of for these are adenine, cytosine, thymine, guanine, etc. Okay, so these all are present on the DNA. Okay, for example here, so these are connected with a ladder like a structure, and these are nothing but the bonds, and bond between the A and T and C and G something. Clear? So these are codings, and based on these coding, okay, we can decode about the classic about the organism. We can know about the organism, which organism is belonging to which groups. All these things we can do. Okay.
Okay.
Next, the similarity in DNA chain show how closely related to two organisms are. So basically, if we discuss the DNA of two organism A and we have B, and if they share mostly approx 90% of similarity, or we can say 95% of similarity in DNA, then we can put them in a one group. Okay, so there is a certain criteria of percentage. Okay, no two organism can be exact. Okay, even we know that the child of human being is not even the exact match. Okay, so exact match is not possible. So we see the how approximate they are equal, they are similar. Okay, so this DNA helps in to bring the to classify the animals and organism basically. Next.
Dichotomous scales use visible features to classify organisms. They give you a choice of two features and you follow the one that applies. Each choice leads to another choice until the organism is narrowed down to its genus and finally species.
Okay, so we have already done dichotomous keys.
It's when there
Here,
are different animals and like it's a key to narrow
yeah,
it
yeah.
down.
For example, okay, so we have already done this here also. So
Yeah.
we were given a picture. Okay, we were given a picture, and we are just trying to match the ask the question whether they has fur or no fur. Okay, so these two questions will lead us to the final answer. So if that particular picture or the picture of the organism has fur, then it means surely it is a mammal. Okay, if they don't have fur, then we will go for the next question. You remember like this? So now we will ask the question whether they have feather or not. So we'll observe closely, and then we'll look at it whether they have feathers or not. If they don't have fur, then there should be a feather. Okay, so if they have the feathers, that means they are birds. If they don't have even the feathers, then we'll go to the next question. So This is nothing but the dichotomous key. And finally, if we go like this, then we will end up getting the name of the organism. Okay. Similarly, we have done this, and the answer is avocate. Okay. Here. Clear?
Yes,
So
clear.
yes. So I hope it's revision. You revise all the things which we discussed in previous lecture, right?
Yeah.
So can you see this picture classifying tiger? So I told you about here that about this. Okay, so the example of this kind is given here. So for example, if we talk about the tiger, so it belongs to the kingdom Animalia. Okay, so what is the kingdom of this tiger? So even we can go from the dichotomous key, but let's see directly. The kingdom is Animalia. Okay, phylum, it belongs to the phylum Chordata. Okay, and which class? So class is Mammalia. Okay, then if they ask you what is the order of this tiger they belong, so Carnivora. Okay, the order is Carnivora. Then family is Felidae and genus is Panthera. So we know that it belongs to the panthers. Okay, so we already know the panthers are similar to this. Okay, and species, it is the tigress. Clear?
Yeah, but
So
in order, it is carnivora written. So, and the other two could be omnivora and so could it be those type or like how is it? Is it something else?
sorry, can you repeat?
Like order is carnivorous, like carnivorous. So,
Yeah,
like the other two options will be herbivorous and omnivorous. So it's something
yeah,
else.
exactly, for different organism, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
basically kingdoms, phylum, classes, there are many. Okay, and it's just the name. Okay, so it can be core data and non-core data. Okay, even this is Animalia. Okay, if we talk about the any plant, then it will
And
belongs to the
be
kingdom
planted.
Plantae.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
these are the name, but under these we have different categories. Okay, so we will have to just tell whether they belongs to which category. Okay, so
Okay.
so does that make sense that how the classification is done?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, so let's discuss, we'll not discuss all of these, but at least the kingdom and the kingdom classification. Okay, so let's say the kingdom. Okay, so there in kingdom there are different names, different classification. Okay, so kingdom is classified on the on into five different name. Okay, first one is animal. Okay, so kingdom animal, we call it as a kingdom animal. So multicellular ingestive heterotrophs. So what are the animals? This belongs to the kingdom, so it is a kingdom name. Okay, are you getting me? This is a one type of kingdom. Okay,
Yeah.
in which the animals are multicellular. Okay, and they are heterotrophs. Clear?
Okay.
So the all
Yeah.
the organism belongings to the animal, they are multicellular, ingestive, and they are heterotrophs. So heterotrophs means they eat living organism. Clear? So they depends on another living things for their food. Okay. Plant multicellular, photosynthetic. They are multicellular. Okay. They are photosynthetic and autotrophic. So photosynthetic means they make their foods. They depends on the light, sunlight also. Clear? One more meaning of ingestive is there is we the feeding and drinking. Okay, so they can drink. So their drinking and feeding, they are the heterotrophs. The mode of the food, taking food and drink water is the heterotroph. Okay, so this is the another meaning of ingestive. So here we can see the mod is they depends on the photosynthetic. They are photosynthetic means they depend on sunlight. Okay, and they are autotroph. That means they can make their own food. Clear? So
Clear.
they are multicellular photoautotrophs. Photoautotrophs depends on lights, and they can make their food own. Okay,
Yeah.
so autotrophic organism with a cellulose cell wall and chloroplast. So they have the cellulose cell wall.
Yeah, the
Yes.
cell wall is cellulose, right?
Yeah, we can say cellulose is a jelly type substance inside the cell. Okay, so some organisms do have, some don't have. Okay, so they
Okay.
have they are with the cellulose cell. Okay, so they have cellulose inside the cell. Okay, inside the cell wall, actually cellulose cell wall. Okay, and
And that's some, it's made of carbohydrate, right?
sorry,
Cellulose is made of carbohydrates, right?
yeah, exactly, cellulose is made up of carbohydrates.
Okay.
Okay, and this chloroplast is on they only are found in the plant. Okay, so this kingdom only have the chloroplast. So
Yeah.
basically whatever we can see the green part, okay, of our world. So the living things, and they have the green part, so that means there must be the chloroplast. Okay, that's why the color of any leaves are green.
Yeah, it's the chlorophyll in the chloroplast is needed for photosynthesis, right?
Yeah, exactly. So no, actually they are not made up of the photosynthesis, but they do help the photosynthesis process. Okay, so if we see the green part, okay, if we see the green part of the leaves, okay, so for example here, so if we see this part, this much part, then there will be a more granules on them. Okay, the green color, but they will have a disc like structure. And these disc like structure, they act as an absorber. Okay, so you can consider that inside the leaf there is a machine which can convert light into food. Clear? So inside this leaf they have a granules. Okay, and they absorb the light, and they take the light into the reaction, and after the reaction they get a food, or we call it the energy basically. Okay, so we eat food to gain the energy, hence the plant also. Okay, are you getting
Okay.
my points?
Yeah.
So the green part, the chlorophyll, and these chloroplast, they help in photosynthesis. Okay,
Okay.
next one.
Fungi, single-celled or multicellular heterotrophic organisms with cell wall not made of cellulose, spread by spreading of spores in moist, dark, warm environments. Saprotrophs feed off dead organisms or parasites. Most have hyphae and mycelium in structure, and examples are yeast and mushroom.
Yes, and mushrooms. Okay, so fungi. Okay, so these are the thing. They can be single celled or multicellular. Okay, so this fungi can be further classified into two. So they can have single cell or they can have a multi-cell. Clear? They are also heterotrophic. So we already know about the heterotrophic because they depends on another organism for their living. Okay. But
Yeah.
what is the mode of how they depend on them? So there is with cell wall not made of the cellulose. So their cell wall are not made up of cellulose, and they spread by spreading of spores in moist or dark or even the warm environment. Saprotrophs. So they are saprotrophs. Okay. So we already know heterotrophics means they depend on another organism for their living. Okay. And saprotrophs means they feed off dead organism. So they depends on another organism, and that organism are not, they are dead one. Okay. They are dead
They
organism.
perform, so they perform decomposition, right?
Yeah, exactly. So feed them and decomposes the dead animals. Okay,
Yeah.
or parasites. So parasites, what are the parasites, do you know?
Uh, Like the small insects, is that it? I know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
parasites means, yeah, exactly, small insects. So they don't have the plant like these chloroplasts. They cannot make their own food, and these are not these are very small, so they don't have any means that they can produce their food by self. Okay, so some animals can they have the injection like structure. Okay, injection like structure, and they can inject these part to the animal or the plant. Okay, and through these part, for example, if this is a plant, okay, and there is a lot of things on the plant. Okay, and they have the injection like structure, and they inject inside the plant, and they can take the ready-made food, okay, from this plant, as they don't have any way that they can make. So they just you can say uh, they just take the foods from the another plant. So these are parasites. Okay, in terms of plant we have parasitic plant, and in terms of animal we have the parasites. You can see in many dogs, they have some parasitic small kind of organism, right?
Yeah.
Some virus like things. Okay, but those are different because viruses are really small, we cannot see, but those are parasites. Okay.
Okay.
So yeast and mushrooms are the example. Okay. Next one.
Prokaryotes, single-celled organisms with no true nucleus, DNA and cytoplasm. Many also have plasmids. Examples are E. coli and
E.
Salmonella.
coli. So E. coli, or next one is the Salmonella. So these are name. Okay. So prokaryotes, these are single cell organism with no true nucleus. So they don't have true nucleus. So we'll come to know about what is known as the true nucleus and what is not true. So basically they do have the nucleus. Okay, but in terms of true nucleus and this another basically the nucleus one, and there is no true nucleus. Okay, so they will be slightly different, we'll discuss later on this part. Okay, when we will discuss more detail, we will discuss the cell wall and cell structure in detail, and there we will come to know about what is known as the true nucleus and what is not, right? So
Okay.
basically uh, they have the nucleus, but there is a different slightly different nucleus. Okay, so DNA in cytoplasm. Okay, so they also have DNA and cytoplasm, prokaryotes. So main thing is they are single cell, rest of the things are same, and another difference is they don't have true nucleus. Okay, next one me about the plasmid, right?
Yeah.
So we already know there is a this cell uh, nucleus. Inside nucleus we have this kind of structure, and even if we see, then these all are wrap up inside these type of structure, we known as the
Chromosome.
chromosomes, right? So
Yeah.
inside chromosome, okay, so inside chromosome these plasmid are small extra chromosomal part. So these are somewhere we will find out small parts. Okay, these are the chromosome part of chromosome only, but they have special features. Okay, that they can replicate. Okay, so they can do the replication process. Clear? So they are nothing but they are stuffs like the DNA only. Okay, but they have the ability that they can replicate, they can produce the replication of itself. So for example, if it was this much, then they can replicate to increase their size. Okay, so
Okay.
all these things are included in the next few chapters, so don't worry. So these are name of the prokaryotic cell. Okay.
All right. And
Next.
next is protocysts, single-celled organisms with a nucleus. Eukaryotes. Some are multicellular, and examples are amoeba and yeast.
Okay, so these are single cell organism with a nucleus. Okay, so they don't have true nucleus, but they seems to be having nucleus, but they have a true nucleus. Okay, these are eukaryotes, and some are multicellular. Example are amoeba and seaweed. So the best way, I think, it will be to introduce you the five kingdom classification. Do you know about the H.A. Whittaker and five kingdom classification? Do you know?
The classification is in
Yes, five kingdom classification of H.A. Whittaker, the scientist name.
no, I don't think.
Okay, so let's. I forget to insert the slide.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so this is nothing but the classification given by H.A. Whittaker. Okay, H.A. Whittaker, sir. It is the scientist name. So this he said that the organism is can be classified into two, either prokaryotics and eukaryotic. Clear? So prokaryotic and eukaryotic we have already known. Prokaryotic means single cell, okay, and eukaryotic means multi-cell. Okay, it's too much, so I'll just highlight the things. Okay, so prokaryote, it means single cell. Okay, and eukaryote means multi-cell. Clear?
Yeah, clear.
So the organism made up of single cell, they can be put in this group, right? So they can be called as a prokaryotic. For example, the amoeba. Amoeba do have the single cell, so those are prokaryotic. Okay, but for example, ourselves, human being, they have multi-cell. Okay, we have multi-cell, so we are eukaryotic. Clear? So
Okay.
organism can be classified into unicellular and multicellular. So unicellular means prokaryotic, and the multicellular means eukaryotic. Okay. Even some eukaryotic cell can be divided into uni and multicellular. Okay. So so that means the prokaryotic will only have the single cell only. Okay, and with no true nucleus. Okay, they don't have the true nucleus, but even they have the true nucleus, then also they can be classified into unicellular and multicellular. Clear? So these
Okay.
two are different. They are unicellular, uh, cellular with no nucleus, but they are unicellular with nucleus. Clear?
Okay, clear.
So this is the difference. And now eukaryotic can be divided into unicellular and multicellular. Now we can further divide the multicellular into two. Okay. So first of all, prokaryotic cell is the name as the Monera. Okay. We have the kingdom name. We'll later on we'll see that. So first kingdom is Monera. Okay. And all they contain the animals which have unicellular organs. They are the unicellular with no true nucleus. The same way, eukaryotic cell which have the single cell, they are nothing but protista. Clear? And eukaryotic cell with they have multi cell, then they can be further classified. If they have without cell wall, if they don't have the cell wall, okay. So you remember I saw you the diagram, okay, of the animal cell and plant cell, right? So do you have that picture? Hello?
Where yeah, I have the picture.
Okay,
The
so
one you're taking, right?
can you see the cell wall there? Because in can you see the animal cell? Okay, so animal cell don't have the covering. Okay, for example, this is the cell. Then they don't have the this type of this covering. Okay, In animals, it is not present, but in plant cell, there will be a covering of these layers. So these are nothing but cell wall. Can you see that, or I'll have to search and show you?
Yeah, no, I can see that. I have the picture.
Okay. So okay. So this, if if the cell wall is absent, okay. So this is the animal. Clear? So we know the another kingdom is Animalia. Okay. If
Yeah.
they are multicellular and they have the cell and cell wall is also present there, okay, then we will have another classification, right? So can you see this is also kind of dichotomous key type of example, right? So with, if they are with cell wall, then it can be classified into two, whether they are phototropics or heterotropics. Okay, if they are phototropics, that means they are plantae, so the kingdom is plantae. And if they are heterotropics, that means they are fungi. Clear? So this way all the 5 kingdoms are classified. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
take this snapshot, as this diagram will not be there in your syllabus, but this is really helpful to know about the all 5 kingdoms. Okay, so you should remember all the name, even the sequence. If anybody asks you about the, okay, tell me about the Animalia. Okay, so you will say, okay, animals don't have the cell wall. Okay, they are multicellular, they are called eukaryotic. Okay, because they have multiple cell. So all these 4 points can lead you 1 marks question or 2 marks question. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so features of animal kingdom. So animal kingdom can be classified into two: vertebrates and non-vertebrates. Clear? So we will, first of all, we'll see what are the vertebrates. So we are actually looking into the animals and how they can further classify. Clear? So animal can be classified that vertebrates and non-vertebrates. Okay. So there is two different groups. So first one is the mammals. Okay. So here I'm not reading everything. Okay, we have just the points, and that points to be considered, and these all points should be remembered. Okay, in order to write the answer and to answer any questions, so all these are the main points. Clear?
Uh, yeah.
Okay, so that descriptive part you can develop, and for descriptive part you can read the book. Okay, so mammals, okay, let's see how what are those. So they have fur, or they can have skin, hair. Either they have fur or hair on the skin. Okay,
Yeah.
so if we look at the picture of mammals, then either the mammals will have the fur or the hair. Okay, another thing, uh, constant internal body temperature. They have a constant internal body temperature. Clear? So for example, if the temperature of outside is in minus degree Celsius, okay, or even the plus degree Celsius, then irrespective of the outside environment, the insider body will be constant, temperature will be constant. Clear?
Yeah.
So that's why like cold weather or the hot weather, they don't affect much of the to the mammals. Okay,
Yeah.
the inside body temperature is always maintained. Okay, so another thing is lungs to breathe. They have the lungs to breathe. Okay, so the first week we discussed they have fur on his skin, fur and or hair on his skin. They have the constant internal body temperature. Another thing is that internal fertilization. So they reproduces by giving birth, without like there is two way, right? So either they can reproduce by the direct fertilization or indirect by the egg. Okay, so this is nothing but internal fertilization. So the babies are grown inside the mother's mammal. Okay, and they give birth. instead of the egg. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing, fed on mother's milk by mammary gland. So they are fed initially, uh, the mother milk by mammary glands. So we all know that these are mammals and the some features of mammals. Clear?
Yeah.
Any doubts from these points?
No doubts. And the second last point would be only applicable to the female mammal, right?
Sorry, second last, yeah, exactly. But obviously, only to the female mammals. Okay. Basically, here we are not classifying the mammals. Okay. We are just looking at into the features of mammals. If we classify mammals, then there will be a male mammals and the females, etc. Right? So basically, all the mammals are reproduced by this method only. Clear? Even
Yeah.
the males and the females all are reproduced by this method only, by birth.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So next, reptiles. Okay. Uh, they are thick, dry, scaly skin. They have this skin. All we know. See, these all are we are doing. This is the comparative study. Okay. So all what we are doing, we are just keeping some constant point like skin, temperature, breathe, these topics, and we will look at the all different groups. So in case of mammals, it was fur and hair on skin. In case of reptiles, they have dry scale. Clear?
Yeah.
So reptiles have thick, dry, scaly skin. Usually they have the four legs. Okay, and internal fertilization. So they also do internal fertilization from the egg. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I think so. Here it should be external fertilization. So external fertilization. Clear? Because we know that external fertilization means babies are grown outside the body. Okay. So for example, they lay the egg. Okay, and then inside this egg, the babies are grown. Clear? So
Okay.
the babies are grown outside the body. So that's why this is external fertilization. Okay.
All right. Understood.
Or yeah, so this way we can see, and I guess you understood about the internal fertilization because the baby is grown inside the body. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
why it is internal. Okay, so also they have the soft eggs, so reptiles. uh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So next one, the vertebral group is the fish. Okay. So they have wet scales. So we are talking about the skin. So how are the skin of the fishes? So they are wet scales. The scales are present on the skin. Okay. And what about the body shape? They have streamlined body shape. Okay. Why? So that they can resist the water. Clear? So for example, consider what happen if the shape of fish is like this. Okay. So what could happen? Can you tell me?
Then they'll sink.
Sorry?
They won't be able to swim. It
Exactly.
won't.
So they will not be able to swim because of the water resistance. But as we know, the structure of fishes are nothing but like this. So that the waters are this dividing into another different direction, and so that they can swim easily. Clear? So these kind of the body shape of the fishes are nothing but streamlined. Okay, so both side are different, same. Okay, if we cut it into two different pieces, then both the side will be approximately same. So this is streamlined. Clear?
Okay. Clear.
And they have swim bladders control buoyancy. So what is buoyancy? Do you know?
No. What exactly is it? I've heard of that, but
Yeah,
maybe.
in physics, the buoyancy is nothing but the repulsive nature of the water. So water always exert force on the object. Okay. So for example, if we put the any plastic bottle inside the water, then that plastic bottle will be coming it come on top of the water layer. Okay. And okay, clear. So any water bottle, if we keep inside, okay, the moment we remove the hand, it will come up. Clear. So this
Yeah.
is because of the buoyant force.
So it's like
So
an
that,
upward.
sorry.
So it's like an upward force.
Yeah. See, so they have swim bladder so that they can control this buoyancy force. Clear.
Okay. Yeah.
To overcome the buoyancy force, so that for example, if they are unable to control this, then they will like float on the water, right? For example, this is the water level, and here it is, there is a fish. I don't know if I can make. Okay. Okay. So if they don't have control over the buoyancy, then what will happen to this? Unlike the other, just like the other plastic bottle, it will also come up on the, and it will float. Okay. So that's why they have this swim bladder.
Okay.
And now they have the external fertilization, and they have the soft egg here. So babies are produced outside the body, and through the eggs, and eggs are soft egg. So what is the difference between soft eggs and the hard eggs? How
Uh,
we are calling it as a soft egg?
Soft eggs can, I think, break very easily. The hard eggs are like the eggs we're cooking.
Okay. So actually, soft egg means they don't have the layer. Okay. So as we can see the normal egg, so they have this layer, this hard layer. Okay. So this is to protect this internal material. Clear. So this layer is hard in case of, for example, in normal egg. Okay. But if these hard, this coating is not present, then we will say it is a soft egg. Okay. So as we can see, in the eggs, the fishes are, they give, they lay egg on inside the water. Okay. So they don't need these kind of these stiff things. Okay. So the eggs are soft, that means they don't have covering. Clear. So covering is also made up of the liquid only, they don't have this hard covering. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So they have the operculum and the gills to breathe. So they have gills.
Just
Okay.
upper color.
Yeah, it is nothing but the part where it it take the oxygen inside, water inside, and they absorb the oxygen and remove the remaining water. So for example, this can be the face. Okay. So these kind of structures are there in fish. Okay. Right. So these are nothing but operculum, gills. These are part. Are you, are you able to imagine what I'm saying? So these are mouth. Okay. And here it is a gills. Okay. So this is the two part. Here only they have the operculum, because here they absorb the water. Okay. And from the water they take the oxygen inside, and the remaining water they just spell out. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So operculum and gills, they have to breathe. Okay. Basically, they take the oxygen from the water, and in that process, they require operculum and gills. So another vertebrate is amphibians. Okay. So we can see example also. Let's see what are the amphibians. So they have smooth and moist skin. The first first part is related to the skin. Okay. So this they have the skin smooth and moist. Okay. And what about the eggs and the reproduction? So they fertilization is external. Okay. And they have the soft eggs, as in case of the fish. Okay. Like they don't have the covering on the egg. Even they have the gills and lungs. Okay. So because they have gills, that means they can survive underwater. Okay. So gills means it can be breathe like fish. Clear? And they also have the lungs. That means they can also they can do respiration. Clear? So because of the gills and lungs both are present inside the amphibian, so amphibian can stay inside water also, and can stay on the ground also, on the land also. Clear? It can live on land and water. Understood?
Yeah, and they
So
also start on by living in water first, like tadpoles.
yeah, exactly. So they belongs to the amphibian group. Okay.
Yeah,
So tadpoles are they belongs to amphibian group. They are amphibian, but that's why they can breathe on. They can live on land and water too. So because they have the gills also, and they have the lungs also. So that's why these both the things are present inside the tadpole. Clear? And as we can see now, we know that they have the four legs. Okay, mostly they have the four legs. Okay, they can be some exception also. Understood this?
understood.
Okay. Next one is birds. So, what about the skins? So they have feathers on the skin. Okay, and also the scale. Scale where they have feathers on the body and scale on legs.
Yeah,
Okay. Uh, the intricate circulatory system. Okay, because they have the strong circulatory system, because bloods are there inside the body of birds, right? And they do have the circulatory system. Okay. uh, and the circulatory system will be different, a bit different than the human being. Okay. Clear? So that we will discuss if there is a deep study, but I don't think so. So basically they have a circulatory system because the blood is present inside the body. Okay. And they have some other kind of different circulatory system than the human. Constant internal body temperature. They have the constant internal body temperature.
yeah,
Okay.
like man.
Yeah, exactly, like mammals. Okay. So next point, strong light bones. They have bones, but they are strong but light. Okay. And as we know that birds lay eggs which have the hard coating. Okay. So the eggs is hard. Okay. And internal fertilization, birth through eggs. Okay, this is even this should be changed. External fertilization. Okay.
Yeah, they lay eggs and they're born from
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So they lay egg first, and then after laying the egg, after that only the babies are grown inside the egg. Okay. So when the eggs are inside the bird, so there is no baby. Okay. So there is cell only. But outside, after coming the outside the body, they start developing the legs, hands, and all the parts of the little baby birds. Okay. So
Yeah,
this is external fertilization. Okay. So any doubts still here?
no doubt till now.
Okay. Now, as I told you that animal can be classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. Okay. So this is the another part of classification. So we are looking at to the invertebrates. Okay. So features of animal kingdom. This is known as the arthropoda. Okay. Some or arthropods group. Okay. So basically these are invertebrates. Okay. First one is a crustacean. Okay. And example is crab. So have you seen crabs?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So they belongs to the crustacean. And let's
Okay.
discuss few points. First point is they have an exoskeleton, one pair of compound eyes. Okay, so they do have one pair of compound eyes. So what does that means? Compound eyes. Compound eyes means how about human? Okay, so human do have two eyes, right? But those are separated through a distance. Clear?
Clear.
Those two eyes are not fused. Okay, if the two eyes were fused and for example into single, it might be a separate line. So this is the line separating, and there is one eyes and another line eyes, and they are
Yeah.
fused with a particular line. Okay, so that means this is the compound eyes. There, any
Okay.
other example that have the compound eyes? An example of animal that have compound eyes. Let it be one or multiple, but at least the compound eyes.
No, I don't know any other animal.
Uh, uh, in case of flies, can you do you know the flies have many eyes? Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, they have many
so
eyes.
yeah, many eyes, more than I don't remember exactly, but more than 50, more than 40 it can be. Okay, for now, for this instance I don't remember exactly, but they have much the eyes on a single area. Okay, so basically all the eyes are just they are inside this and they are fused to each other. So how they see the people? Okay, so one part of the for example, okay, if they have the compound eyes here, and there is one human being here, so the all the eyes are one eyes or two eyes can look at this part, another part can look at another different parts. Okay, so this way the all the eyes are in such a way that they can look at different objects, and the brain is connected in such a way that they see the whole picture. Yeah, so for example our in case of human being, okay, so we look at these both the eyes. Okay, but we what we see a single person. Okay, uh, because we have two eyes, so that means the two there should be two image. Clear? Are you getting my point what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah.
So in case of for example we do have two different eyes, so that means one image should be here and one image should be here inside the retina. But don't happen, right? We see the human as a one single person here. So this way also this implies to these flies also. Okay, so they do have 20 to 30 eyes, but they what they do, they see a single person. Okay, one part can see the one part, one eyes can see the single part, another eyes another part, and in this way they add up to the whole organism. Okay,
Okay.
okay, so they have three body segments. Okay, and here there is one correction here. So they don't have head, thorax, abdomen, but they have the cephalothorax. Okay, so cephalothorax. Okay, so the head and these are fused, so that's why we call it as a cephalothorax. Okay, and the abdomen. Okay, so the body, they they have three parts, but two parts are fused. We call it as a cephalothorax, and another part is abdomen. Okay,
Okay.
uh, more than four pair of legs they have. They have more than four pair of legs. Okay,
Yeah.
two pair of antennas are present, uh, sensitive to touch and chemicals. Okay, so they have two pair of antennas, and why they have antennas? To so that they can have a sense of touch or the sense of chemical. Clear?
Yeah. Clear.
And also they have crab have the silly pads. Okay, so this is not something through which they hold prey. Okay, so you look at the crabs, so they will have two parts. Okay, they will have a part through which they hold the prey. Okay.
Okay.
So another part, can you read?
Yeah. Then there's arachnids, spiders, is an example. It has
So
two
you
bodies.
explain me how you are going to make the notes, how you are going to uh, write down the answer in case of arcanites. Okay, so arcanites part you will explain, because all the, see, the reading parts is already there. Okay, and we are explaining in a similar way. Like
Yeah.
first part is the legs, skin, and then we talk about the uh, whether they have mode of reproduction and food and all, right? And even we talk about the eyes. So all these 5 points you can write down, it- you can write about any organism. Okay, these are common names. Okay, explain.
So arachnids have two body segments, which are
Okay.
cephalothorax and an abdomen.
Okay.
And wait, cephalothorax is two parts combined, right?
Yeah, two body segments, so they have two segments. Segments means like you will be able to see two different parts. The two parts are not fused together. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see, you imagine the that is spider. Okay, so what you see inside in the spider, how many parts?
In spider, I know that it has many
No, no, no,
legs.
no.
I
Yes,
don't know.
not inside, because for that you will need to dissect uh, from the our we can say phenotypically. Okay, from the outside, how you see legs. Okay,
It has many legs and it has a main body, like
okay.
a
So
circular.
main body, yeah. So that is the cephalothorax, and they have abdomen. Okay, where they store certain things. Okay, liquid or anything. So they have abdomen, and the main part is cephalothorax. So in cephalothorax, you will see the head. Okay, okay, like here, they will have a head and thorax, but head and thorax will be fused together. Clear? So
Okay.
okay, next.
Then arachnids also have four pairs of legs,
Yes, nice.
and it also has a pair of
Salicity,
legs.
you can say pair of salicity to hold prey.
Yeah, they also have a pair of salicylate for the prey,
Okay,
and they also have two pedipalps for reproduction and food,
nice.
with several pairs of
Next.
eyes jointed.
Mhm.
And an example would be spiders.
Right. So arachnids, they have two body segments. Okay, and cephalothorax and abdomen. They have four pair of legs. So four pair of legs. Remember. So that means eight legs. They have eight legs. Four pairs means they have the eight legs. Okay, and
Yeah.
they have pair of salicity to hold prey. So they have two. We can look at the the picture of the spider. Okay,
Is the salicylate the front parts of
this
the.
this exactly the front part where they hold the prey. For example, if there is any ants there, so they will hold from that only part. Okay, so salicity is the top part here. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, and they have the pedipalps for reproduction and food. So for taking food inside and for reproduction, they have two pedipalps. We'll know about we will talk about this later on in the reproduction chapter. Okay, so what are those pedipalps? So basically, they have two parts from where they can have food. Okay, and
Okay.
they have several pair of eyes. So they have many eyes, pair of eyes actually. Okay, next.
Uh, Then there's myriapods.
Yes.
Um, they have a segmented body, and
So
there are
segmented body. Okay, so segmented body, it means, for example, the length of myriapod is this much. Okay, then there will be many segments. Clear? They will
yeah,
have
yeah.
many segments. Okay, so that's why they have not mentioned how many segments, because they don't have one or two segments. They have many. Clear? So that these are not known as the segmented body. So many segment, it means the segmented body. Okay,
Okay.
next.
Yeah. And additional segments can also be formed. And
Okay, nice.
they have one pair of antennae and 70 plus pairs of legs.
One or
Uh,
two pair on each segments.
yeah, one or two pair on each segments. They have a fused head and thorax and segmented abdomen and simple eyes. Simple
Okay,
eyes.
so simple eyes, like us. Okay, they don't have the fuse, the compound eyes. Okay,
Okay.
we have talked about this pair of eyes, the compound eyes, right? So one is compound eyes, in which we have already seen the example. The eyes are fused together, and the simple eyes are, the eyes are separated. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
simple eyes, they have simple eyes, either one or two, but the simple eyes. So segmented, they have the segmented body. They have extra segments. Okay, in that, in them. Okay, on the body they have additional segments. Okay, one pair of antenna is also there to sense and to feel, to sense the touch and chemicals. Okay, they have 70 plus pair of legs, and in one or two pair on each segments. Okay, so for example, if they have these many segments. Okay, so each segment will have either one or two pair. Either they will have one or they will have two. Clear?
Okay.
Each
Yeah.
segment. So that's why they have, first of all, they have the many segments, and each segment have one or two pair of the leg. That's why they have 70 plus pair. Okay.
Okay.
And next, fused head and thorax. So we have already discussed this. They have head and thorax, but they are fused. Okay. Segmented abdomen. So their abdomen is also segmented. They the abdomen also have segments, and they have the simple eyes. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, Now we will discuss about the insects. Okay. So example is bees. Okay. So they have three different parts. In case of the bees, they have different. Okay. The all the parts are different. So head is separated from the thorax and the abdomen. So that's why we count it as a three body segment. Okay. So in case of the bees, they have three different body segments: head, thorax, and abdomen. Okay, three pair of joint legs. Okay, three pair of joint legs. So they have legs, but they are joint. Okay, for example, like this. So they have legs here and that. So they have joint legs.
Okay.
Okay,
So they join in
yeah,
one.
the legs are joint at particular point.
Okay.
So three pair of joint legs and one pair of antenna. Okay, one pair of antenna, one or two pair of wings. They have also wings. Okay, they can have one pair, or they can have two pairs. So for example, flies have two pair. There are some insect which they have the one pair only. Okay, or the two pairs are fused, so we count only single pair. right?
Yeah.
Another, some show spatial behavioral patterns. Okay, so some of them show the spatial behavioral patterns. Okay, some wings have the behavior, they some of them have the same behavior. Okay, and some have the different behavior. Okay,
Okay.
so in case of bees, so all the bees have the similar behavior. They are the sizes are similar, and we can see, in case of bees, all the bees belonging to one particular group, they even travel with them. Okay, they travel together, they go to on the flowers at the same time only. So they do the same pattern, they do the same pattern of the behavior. Okay, if one bee is flying, then another bee is also flying, like this. They follow the same pattern. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. uh, Another thing, they have the tough exoskeleton of chitin. Okay, so this is the chitin. Okay, have you seen the cockroach?
Not very close.
Okay, so you are afraid of cockroach.
No, I'm not afraid, but our house
Okay,
has never no occurrences of cockroaches.
okay, so they have tough exoskeleton of chitin. So they don't have the bones. Okay, but the body they have, for example, in case of the cockroach. Okay, okay, for example here. Okay, so here they have the head and like this, and so the bodies, you can see, these are the transparent part. Okay, different color, but somehow they are transparent. And if you press, okay, if you press, for example, okay, then you can hear a cracking noise. Okay, for example, we have a leaf. Okay, we have a dry leaf, and if we try to tear that leaf, then you can hear a cracking noise, right? A
Yeah.
very slow noise. So these are nothing but these are bones only. These are the skeleton only, but they are really they are not that much hard. And if you press here, then you can hear the a bit of sound, and that means they have the chitin.
Okay. So
Okay,
that's the exoskeleton.
actually those are made up of chitin. Okay, so we can say the cockroaches, the skin of cockroaches are made up of chitin. And another thing, the wings of the flies, okay, wings of the insects, they are also made up of these kind of chitin only. Okay, so
Okay.
basically chitin is a material which can be used, which are used in the wings. Okay, by god. So a tough exoskeleton of chitin. Okay. Next one, some have sensitive chemical detectors. Okay. So they have the like we have already discussed that they have the pair of antenna. Okay. So even to sense inside their body, they have some different parts which can detect the chemicals. Okay. For example, ants, they can detect the sweets, right?
Yeah.
They know they do have sense of sweetness. So that's why if you drop any sweets on a floor, then you will see the in few moments only there will be more number of insect there. So they can sense. So to sense that chemical, they have chemical detectors. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So uh, I think so. The classification of animals part we have done, and later on we will do the in next session we'll do the classification of plants. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So any doubt actually here?
No doubts.